people that use it. Without the right sales training, it's a wasted investment. At this time, I'd like to turn the conference over to Ms. Jessica Brown. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jessica Brown. I'm a marketing manager here at Communispond, and I'll be your host today. If you're listening through your computer speakers, there may be some audio inconsistency. Unfortunately, that is beyond our control, but if you'd like, you can at any time call in using the number that's on the upper left corner of your screen. For bandwidth purposes, we're actually not going to be showing our video today. We'll have our pictures up instead. Our speaker is calling in from the Windy City, and they're having some poor weather there. We are recording today's session. Following the conclusion of the webinar, you will receive an email with a link to the recording and the slides. We are very interested in your questions, and there's a chat box underneath my picture that you can click on, private, and then leaders and assistants, and type your questions there. We'll answer as many as we can towards the end of the webinar. Also, if the Start tab is open on your screen, just to the right of that tab you will see the Slides tab that's called March 2016 Slides. Please just select that Slide tab, and that will display the visuals for the webinar. So, we will, at the end of today's session, be drawing names for our prizes. We'll be giving away an Android tablet and 2 gift certificates, each good for a seat in one of Communispond's public seminars of executive presentation skills. The gift certificate can also be used as a $1,550 credit towards a corporate program. For those of you who are new to Communispond, Communispond has been the leader in professional skills training for 47 years. Communispond offers solutions in 5 core competencies: communication performance solutions, leadership skills, sales performance solutions, executive communication coaching, and business skills solutions. And also, Communispond has a strong global presence with 12 offices worldwide, 75 plus global faculty, and delivering programs in over 19 different languages. Now I'd like to introduce today's presenter, Jeannie Bress. Jeannie is the Senior VP of Global Sales at Communispond and has over 25 years of experience working with Fortune 500 companies from all types of industries. Jeannie brings extensive knowledge and experience in sales and marketing, working at the most senior levels in an organization. Jeannie joined Communispond in 1999 as an account executive while also designing and delivering training as part of the role. In addition to her client management repertoire, she has taught all over the United States as well as internationally. Jeannie, I will now turn the podium over to you. Oh, Jeannie, I just want to check, do you have your mute button on?
I do. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from, and welcome to Communispond's webinar. Before we get started, I'd like to find out a little bit about you and why you're here by asking everyone to answer a polling question.
And
what is the main reason? Sorry?
Oh, I just put that up on everybody's screen.
Okay,
so
great.
To be able to read along.
Thank you. What is the main reason you're here today? I'm not familiar with Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com, but it sounds like something I would like to know more about. I've heard about Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com, but I'm unsure if it's a good solution for my company. I've heard about Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com, and I am familiar with the program, but would like to learn more.
Great. It looks like a couple of responses are still trickling in, so I'll just give it one more second. Okay, it looks like it's slowing down, so I will share the results. There you have it.
Interesting. 25% have heard about our program but would like to know more about it. 8% aren't familiar at all, and it sounds like something they might like to know more about. Great. Then you will be thrilled by this webinar because we're going to answer those questions and give you a lot of great information about why Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com. We've seen and heard from many companies who've spent significant, if not incredible amounts of time and money, about Salesforce.com and sales training in an effort to build momentum and increase success for their sales teams. Yet, in most cases, these efforts failed to deliver the hoped-for results, leaving sales executives, sales leaders, and sales staff frustrated and with a sense of failure. We've all been frustrated about spending all that money and getting no results for it. We've looked for an answer or a common thread as to why this occurs over and over, and we came to the same conclusion. The effort to build efficiency, speed, and quality in your selling and your CRM have to be very tightly integrated. This is the foundation and the basis for our Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com. Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com takes the core philosophy in how sales are built, delivered, and recorded in Salesforce.com and carefully and deliberately blends it with core sales dialogue skills. It's only when these two efforts are completely intertwined, selling skills and expert usage of Salesforce.com, that you get the greatest momentum, power, and return on investment. We know we spend a lot of money. Our sales leaders want things to work. We want them to utilize Salesforce. But for salespeople, we feel like it's a management tool. We're going to talk more about that.
Great. Jeannie, thank you for that introduction to Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com. To further elaborate on the program and what makes it work, we have compiled a list of questions. Some were chosen because they are some of the most common questions asked by clients. Some questions have come in via our blog, and some have actually come in via email in response to the webinar invite. So without further ado, let's jump right in. The first question is a common question that is typically one of the first questions that clients ask when learning about Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com. Question is, we have already invested a hefty sum in Salesforce.com and Salesforce training. So do we really need to spend more to make sure it works?
The investment you put in is indeed substantial, and I'm sure you want to see it return to you tenfold. Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com users will help you achieve that by ensuring that each and every one of your sales reps learns best practices and Socratic selling methods to gain better insights in order to expedite sales cycles and close more deals. That's what's the most important thing. The Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com Leaders Program will help us gain in-depth understanding of your instance and setup of Salesforce.com to ensure consistency in the usage of Salesforce.com across the sales team to optimize sales performance for everyone. With this process in place, your sales managers can continue to reinforce, coach, mentor, and drive results even after the training is completed to maximize your ROI, because that's what this is about, maximizing all that money that's been spent.
So Jeannie, you mentioned the Leaders Program. Can you explain what the Leaders Program is and how it differs from the Users Program?
Absolutely. The Leaders version is a one-day program for sales leaders. This is in advance of the two-day program for users, whose teams will be going through the course. It's designed to help sales leaders to define exactly how their team works with leads, opportunities, and all the other processes, so the facilitator can tailor the user course to their instance of Salesforce. It also teaches sales leaders the basic Socratic selling skills so they can support and coach their people. Also, we help them with dashboards and other things to help monitor the activities that really will help drive the results, which is closed sales. The user version is a two-day program for the sales reps. It's designed to teach them two things. First, best practices for effectively using Salesforce as a sales tool. Secondly, Socratic selling skills that will enable sales reps to turn more leads into opportunities and more opportunities into sales.
Thanks, Jeannie. Now the next question is also a question that clients usually ask in the initial phases of a call. So we already trained our sales organization on how to use Salesforce.com. How is this any different?
Well, in Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com, we take your sales team from start to finish of your own unique sales process using your instance, that's the critical part, of Salesforce.com, working with your real live data. We teach your sales team how to best uncover and capture the information they need to move their sales opportunities along, providing them with observable, relevant information to give them insight into growing their sales close rates and revenue growth. We couple this with effective sales dialogue skills and presentation skills, strengthen their ability to learn and focus on what's most important and the value they bring to their prospects and customers.
Thanks, Jeannie. Now, the next question has to do with the timing of the training. Question is, my sales team is quite new to Salesforce.com. Is this the right time to layer on this training?
Absolutely. This is the perfect time. Build the right skills now, the right behaviors now. That's really important. And especially when you're introducing Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com to your sales team as a program. Help reinforce what they've learned and to make them see the opportunities beyond their basic knowledge of Salesforce.com. Since your sales reps will be working on their own leads, their own opportunities, and accounts during real-world applications. In class, these best practices in Socratic Selling Skills will ensure every sales rep understands the expected process and behaviors. The 2-day workshop will help jumpstart the sales team's performance and commitment level to Salesforce.com by building up their confidence and their enthusiasm. Because we all know if the sales reps don't use it, you've spent a lot of money on something that's pretty costly not to have used.
Great, thank you. The next question is one that came in response to a blog post. As some of you may know, this program was initially rolled out with the name Momentum Selling for Salesforce.com users. So someone had asked, why did Communispond rename Momentum Selling to Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com?
Well, the reason for renaming the program is because the final course incorporated so many aspects of our well-known Socratic Selling Skills program. The name change is a much clearer representative of what the program is and who it's intended for.
Makes sense. The next question, people that have been in the sales industry for a long time or have moved from one company to another know that there's no two sales processes that are alike. So we quite frequently hear clients with the following concern. We have an existing sales process. Are we able to use this process along with learning the Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com?
As I'm sure everybody in the audience knows, a lot of us have been through a lot of different sales training. The Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com works with any sales process. It focuses on enhancing the sales rep's communication and dialogue skills so they become more effective in uncovering needs, overcoming objections, finding opportunities, and moving the sales opportunity further in your process. Our program focuses on sales dialogue skills and teaching your team how to effectively sell and communicate utilizing the Socratic selling method. This is a high-level sales communication training that can be utilized and implemented within any sales methodology or sales training that you're already using. The program will enhance your team's dialogue and selling abilities by covering content on how to open a conversation using a Socratic opener, how to listen, really listen, and effectively uncover what a client is telling them, how to drive opportunities by focusing on value rather than features, how to present a proposal, how to handle those objections, and how to move the sales forward to a close and a win. With the Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com Leaders Course, we will work to understand your chosen methodology and process during the intake process, and then tailor the training to the skills which work best within your environment. Sales reps learn to use Socratic Selling Skills to gather information and insights. They capture that information in Salesforce.com and then strategize to take actions using the insights Salesforce.com provides.
Thank you, Jeannie. The next question was submitted via email to be answered during the webinar. How will this program actually change my team's behavior when using Salesforce.com? and when on sales calls?
This is a skills training program, which means it changes behaviors. We all know changing behaviors is one of the hardest things human beings ever undertake, especially as adults. However, if your team is willing and committed to make a change, you will see results and continued improvement. They will discover new ways to make use of their new skills in your existing sales process. You've got to get your salespeople excited. They've got to see a value to using Salesforce.com. Having all those insights and that information in Salesforce.com is not only great for the salespeople and help them with their sales process and closing deals, but we've all had situations where the salesperson left and the next salesperson coming in complains about the fact that there's nothing in there to tell them what's been going on in an account. This is critical stuff.
Jeannie, actually, someone just submitted a question that relates to this question, and I think it'd be good to address it now rather than at the end of the webinar. The question is, have you performed a case study where a team's behavior was actually changed?
Yes. We actually worked with a publicly traded investment company who had a highly customized instance of Salesforce.com. We trained their managers in the leaders course first, of course. By the middle of that program, those leaders were emailing their reps saying that they all had to take the users course because they were so excited by the content they saw. They saw the value. They saw the opportunity to really help their sales reps and also help them manage their sales reps better. When the sales reps came to the user course, they saw immediate benefits. They worked in their instance of Salesforce.com and developed leads, advanced opportunities, made calls, and found ways to speed up the sales process. As a result, this company is in the process of rolling out Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com users to the rest of their sales team. They had about 5 sales managers, so it was interesting to see, and they all had different types of sales reps. Some were experienced, some were very junior, and they all felt that this course was a dramatic need for their sales team.
Perfect, thank you. Now the next 2 questions came in from actual client sales calls. Next question is, we have already conducted sales training with selling to veto and spin selling. My people do not need another sales selling approach. Why are you different?
Well, our program incorporates a communication approach to help your reps gather more detailed information that is important to focusing your product to your client's needs through effective dialogue skills. How many times have you been on a sales call where the sales rep talked about what was most important to the sales rep or what they had just learned at a company meeting and didn't ask the client or the customer about what their needs were? Happens all the time, I'm afraid. I was on one yesterday, and an hour into the call, I'd asked 3 times, wouldn't you like to know what's important to me? I still didn't get that to work. In addition, we use your instance of Salesforce.com throughout the program. Reps find leads, document research, and create real-world planning strategies on new accounts and or existing accounts. Through these activities, your reps advance the process of a working lead to an opportunity while in the class. That's something you haven't seen anywhere else. They're always using widgets or some other process or their process, when the realities are you need to use your process, your Salesforce.com, if you're going to get your sales reps to commit to this training and to using Salesforce.com.
Great. Now the next question is also one that we incorporated from an actual sales call. Lead generation and using Salesforce is not a problem for us. How does your program help close more sales?
So this program is for sales reps who already know Salesforce.com. What we teach them are the best practices for maximizing their use of the Salesforce.com process, as well as sales dialogue skills. This helps them uncover more of their clients' and the prospect's needs in order to position your solution product as the perfect fit for their needs.
Perfect. So this question came in via email to be answered during the webinar. Is this geared toward entry-level or more senior-level reps?
The beauty of it, both. The great thing about the program is that it's beneficial for everyone. The program will help entry-level sales representatives and veterans gain better practices for using Salesforce.com and improve sales dialogue skills to increase sales. We've all been through lots of training. We all know what we should do. But the realities are that when you get in the day-to-day, you don't always do those skills. You don't always practice them. This not only reinforces all the great skills that are critical for sales success, but they also bring in additional ways to maximize for the salespeople on how to utilize Salesforce.com effectively. And that's a critical piece of it because a lot of sales reps see this as something the managers want them to do. They don't see it as a benefit to them. We help them see those benefits.
Thank you. Now the next question, short and sweet. Why can't we have 20 people per class?
Well, this program is going to require behavioral modification for the students. With more than 12 individuals, it's just not possible with one instructor. We can go up to 16 with 2 instructors, but to get through the content and for everyone to be able to perform multiple recordings in 2 days, we really need to keep the size of the session down to either 12 or 16 with 2 instructors.
Great. So the next question came in from a current client who has taken our Executive Presentation Skills course. Do you use video recording in this program like you do in Executive Presentation Skills?
This program requires and includes a variety of activity types to ensure behavioral change and to improve the buy-in and the stickiness of the learning and the training. We use audio recording, video recording, and role play with coaching from the facilitator as well as peer feedback. For example, as participants learn how Socratic dialogue will improve their skills, they will write and rehearse opening a conversation, making prospecting calls, and the presentation of the proposal and solution. Most of their learning will be accomplished through doing, and all that activity will be documented in Salesforce.com as they work through.
Great. Thank you. So now the next question came in from someone that has already sat through a training on Salesforce.com. How is this different from Salesforce.com training that we already took?
Well, the prerequisite of this program is a basic understanding of your instance of Salesforce.com. That's the technical piece. The expectation is that your rep already understand your organization's guidelines for leads, opportunities, deal stages, sales cycles, etc. In the leader session, we'll work with you to gain a clear understanding of your specific instance of Salesforce.com and make some recommendations, some best practices. We then train your reps to seamlessly blend Socratic Selling Skills into all the steps of the sales process and to record what they learn in Salesforce.com. This helps to speed up sales cycles and close more deals. It also provides a record of how every step was accomplished so it can be reproduced in other opportunities. And also you have a record. If the sales rep ever leaves, you have a record of what's going on in the account, which is critical for sales leaders.
Thanks, Jeannie. Now, Communispond works with a lot of large organizations and has come across the next questions a few times. We have a large sales organization. Can we have our sales managers go through the training and then, in turn, teach the program to their own sales teams?
We have a mandatory Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com Leaders program for your sales leaders to attend. And in this program, they will provide us with information on how your sales teams function in Salesforce.com to help us understand your instance of Salesforce and how your organization utilizes the tool. By attending this program, your sales managers also will be able to reinforce, coach, and mentor their teams on the skills learned. However, they won't be certified to teach the program, but we do offer trainer certification in both programs, and we can certify your internal trainers or your leaders, sales leaders, to teach both programs to your sales organization, just as we offer trainer certification for all of our Communispond solutions.
Great. Now the next question probably resonates with a lot of people because so many people customize Salesforce.com, as we know. Can this program be tailored to how we use Salesforce.com is the question.
Yes, the program will be tailored to your instance of Salesforce.com. This will be done in advance of the session. We have an intake time. We want to know and understand. We want our facilitator to be able to go into your Salesforce and be able to understand how it flows, what fields you have, all the customization that you've done. And our facilitator will contact you to walk through the process and your instance of Salesforce.com. It will also be discussed during the leader's course. And again, any best practices, any recommendations that our facilitators can make based on what we've seen in our own experience in Salesforce.com, we share with our clients.
Great. Now this next question was also submitted, and it sort of piggybacks off of this question, but still wanted to include it. We have customized Salesforce.com extensively. Would that prevent Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com from working?
Salesforce.com Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com accommodates many approaches to the use of Salesforce.com. And for the most customized instances, we can easily tailor the program to match your instance. Because the realities are the sales process is pretty basic and pretty specific, and we all use the same basic principles. The difference is the dialogue. How do you ask the right questions? How do you gather the right information? Understand those clients' needs, and then connect them to your solutions. That's what the critical parts are.
And finally, what do we need to do to prepare our data in Salesforce.com prior to the program?
There's no preparation needed. I'm sure everybody's thrilled to hear that because there's always usually so much prep in these things. We will be using your existing data as is with the goal of advancing and adding to this information throughout the class. Other than the intake time where we'll want to see your instance of Salesforce, we'll want to be able to understand your sales process, that's really the only prep work, and there's nothing for the sales rep.
Excellent. So at this time, I invite our attendees to submit any additional questions you may have in the chat box. As a reminder, to submit a question, just click on Private, and then Leaders and Assistants, and then just type your question. Also put up Jeannie's contact information if you'd prefer to reach out to her directly. There it is for you. Jeannie, while we've been talking, our audience did send in one additional question for you to answer. We'll do that at this time. So you mentioned either using our live the question is, you mentioned either using our live Salesforce instance of our sandbox. Our company wouldn't allow you to be in our live instance of Salesforce.com. Would that be a problem?
And for those that don't know what a sandbox is, a sandbox looks exactly like your live instance of Salesforce.com, but it isn't. It is stagnant. You can play around in it. You can't hurt the data. You can't change the data. You can't delete anything from your live instance of Salesforce. So some companies may feel that they just don't want anybody else. So we will sign an NDA, and we're happy to help in any way we can. We understand if it is just a matter of you just don't want anybody else in your live instance of Salesforce. Not a problem. We can work in your sandbox if that's preferred. You just need to be sure the sandbox is populated with data so the reps have something to work with during the program. So add some accounts, add some contacts, add a couple opportunities. We can also have the users do that during the course itself too.
Excellent. I think that's it. So if you have any other additional questions that you want to submit, please feel free to submit those directly to Jeannie. And I'd like to just wrap up. Thank you so much, Jeannie. Before we can conclude, I'd like to remind everyone about today's giveaways. I will email the winners of this free Android tablet and the 2 free executive presentation skills gift certificates at the conclusion of the webinar. The winners of the EPS gift certificates will be able to attend a public session of EPS, and the full Q1, Q2 schedule can be found at www.beginlearningnow.com. Thank you very much. That concludes our webinar. I want to thank Jeannie for answering our questions and giving us some insights into what makes Socratic Selling Skills for Salesforce.com such a powerful sales team training tool. And I want to thank all of you for joining us. I hope to see you at our next webinar.
And ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude today's conference. Thanks for your participation.